Hello everyone, it's Alejandro Rojas here, Alex from Heropoint Studios with another weapon review. Today we're taking a look at a gun that was recently altered by the 2.1 December update, the Fabian Strategy. Its Frontlines perk went through some major changes, and today we're going to figure out if it's worth the slot. Now, if you're new to Destiny and you don't know how to grab Fabian, just go ahead and click the little annotation in the center of the screen and you'll be whisked away to my Ace of Spades review where I explain how to grab all your gunsmith weapons. And with that out of the way, let's get on with today's review. So, Fabian Strategy got a pretty big overhaul in the December update. On top of that amazing damage buff of 0.78%, the Frontlines perk on Fabian Strategy no longer buffs rate of fire as a bonus modifier. Now, it increases the base rate of fire to the highest rate of fire an auto rifle can have, and damage per bullet output is offset to compensate for this. In other words, this means that your Fabian Strategy at closer ranges will magically transform into a bullet hose auto rifle. Originally, people had assumed the Frontlines perk was broken, before the update, because the rate of fire didn't increase at all when the perk was supposed to proc. Unfortunately, Bungie revealed to us it had been working as intended, with an entirely negligible rate of fire increase that was completely unnoticeable. I mean, it was unnoticeable for everyone to think the thing was broken, so pretty bad. And now, their fix for that is to make the gun transform into what the majority of the community has deemed the worst archetype of auto rifles, the bullet hose. Basically, since their very first appearance in the game, people just have not liked them. Some people do. They do like the bullet hose variant, but the majority vote seems to be pretty clear, that vote being that they suck. They're not all bad, mind you. They are very fun to use. It's their range that people have an issue with because it's basically just a worse auto rifle range, which isn't good. Now, I originally had a very negative review of this gun. It was kind of bad before the update, and I felt like this change to the Frontlines perk made it worse. But after getting some more playtime with the gun, I do see some merit in the perk. The perk is super gimmicky, mind you. It's weird, and a lot of people aren't going to like it. I don't really care for it, but I do believe it has a point to it. Let's say you enjoy using bullet hose variants. You like bullet hose auto rifles, but find it really difficult to use them at long ranges. Well, that's how they're intended. That's how they're designed. Well, that's exactly the point of the Frontlines perk, at least now anyways. Whether Bungie intended it or not, the weapon gives you some versatility. At longer ranges, you use the medium rate of fire. But when you actually get into a range where bullet hose rifles are effective, Fabian Strategy switches the hose on and lets the bullets fly out. The stability buff from Frontlines, which I assume is still active, they didn't say they removed it at least, so I'm going to assume it's active. That buff and stability keeps the gun from spraying around too much or going out of control during this transformation. That way the kick's not a big surprise for you. I didn't use the gun a lot, but from what little experience I have with it, Strategy seems to be more effective at closer ranges. It seems to be, with all its boosts and everything accounted for, it's a very good bullet hose at close range, while maintaining some decent effectiveness at longer ranges with its default stats. The perk is certainly weird, I'll give you that, but it does give the gun some interesting versatility, if anything, that, other guns don't have. Now, on top of this big change to the gun, they also replaced extended mag with flared magwell. Considering the archetype switch that the main perk causes, I don't really feel like this is a good change. If I'm going to be spitting out more rounds at closer ranges, then I'd like to have more rounds in my mag to start with. And this is certainly how I felt after finishing off an enemy in and out of the Crucible. They also removed small bore and replaced it with rifled barrel. Additionally, they increased the base reload speed and base stability of the weapon to offset the benefits that were removed from those stat upgrades when they got taken out. That's not bad. I like that change. That's a good change. But the gun still has notably less stability than other auto rifles of the same archetype. Zahalo, if set up correctly, will outdo strategy in basically every category, not just stability. You can even set it up to completely overshadow that gun. It's crazy how much stability Zahalo can get. Now, that's another exotic. What about legendaries? Righteous 7. A legendary auto rifle bought from New Monarchy will outdo it in whatever way you want it to. It's a Suros weapon. You get crazy amount of leeway with how you can set it up. So you can basically set it up to outdo the gun in every way, one way, this way, or any way you feel like, just depending on how you want to run that gun. And it's a legendary that doesn't take up your exotic slot. Now, with all the technical bits out of the way, what about the aesthetic value of the gun? It's an okay looking gun. The shield is pretty cool, and it has a modern gun feel to it, like a lot of Haka guns do. I'm not a fan of the paint job. I do like the pattern, don't get me wrong. It's a cool pattern, but the rust color doesn't do it justice. I think a nice desert tan, like the color of all the other Haka rifles, would have been a much better look. It would have made it look a little more tactical, would have made it more obviously a Haka rifle. You know, you would have seen it and thought Haka not just from the style, but from the same colors with some camo thrown in. It would have been a just nicer auto rifle from Haka. Now, I love the shield. I really do. I love the shield, but I feel like the shield doesn't make up for the paint job. My opinion, though. All in all, I feel like the Fabian Strategy is an okay weapon still. Maybe even go as far to say it's a little better after 2.1 in certain scenarios. Crowd control and life support may have not been the focus of this video, but just as a side note, they are definitely good perks. Crowd control's bonus is more than helpful. Damage boost is always a good thing. And life support's chance to start health regen after a kill may not be the most consistent perk, but it certainly is valuable. Now, Frontlines is definitely super gimmicky, and the strategy's base stats were buffed and all, but it's still a very low-end exotic. Even compared to something like Righteous 7, which is a legendary straight from a vendor, it's not that great of an auto rifle. The downfall of this gun, in my opinion, is pretty simple. If you like bullet hose auto rifles, then you're probably already using one. If you like the middle fire rate, you're probably already using one of those. But either way, you're more than likely you want to be using that gun, that archetype, through the whole match or through the whole raid, through the whole whatever you're doing. And you know, you probably like your gun to stay the same and not have your gun turn into a different gun depending on your range. So, sorry Fabian, but you're just not worth the slot. Until next time, Guardians, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Heropoint out.
Ruben, Miram, where are y'all? For real. Get me the hell out of here. Get me the hell out of here, like for real. Like, oh, what the fuck? What the hell? Ruben, get me the fuck out of here. You guys need to click the like button right here or hit subscribe or the next video on top. Please, get me the hell out of here.